Off thugs.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. We're joining in live, and I thought about this week, and we've talked about this for, I guess, for the last 5 or 6 weeks here on today's bite of what we're going to do this coming weekend. And you think of the end of January, and it's still kind of nasty, and weather conditions can be. 4 years ago, what was it? 3 years ago or 2 years ago when the blizzard happened?
I think it was 3.
Yeah, it's about 3 years ago.
So you can have a blizzard, then you can have sun, you can have rain. But this weekend, we've got the Grizzly Jig Spring Show. And I got no other than Mr. Wade Mansfield here to kind of tell us what's going on with that. Wade, do an introduction for yourself and tell everybody at home who you are and what you do.
The man himself.
I'm Wade Mansfield. We have Grizzly Jig Company in Crothersville, Missouri. We've been catering to the crappie fishermen since '91. That's kind of our core crowd. It's really been a grassroots for a long time. My father, he used to fish crappie tournaments, and it's just we built a business around crappie fishing.
Yeah. And I think about all the different things that I get to go to every year and be a part of, and I definitely look forward to this one. There's so many people there, from manufacturers to tournament guys to professional guides to the everyday fishermen, and get to hang out with everybody. And to me, that's just makes the experience so much enjoyment for myself, and I really look forward to it. And for myself, I want to say thank you to that, and putting on an event like this for the crappie fishing world, because it's major in my mind.
I mean, it's really been kind of like a family reunion. I mean,
that is true.
Pros, they all came in to meet, and a lot of their customers and stuff, and it just, the more and more each year, it just become the same thing. So you're gonna see a ton of guys, even for you. When you're guiding at Ross Barnett, you're probably gonna have a couple of dozen of your customers that are gonna see you there, because they only get to see you once a year. So it's just like a get together.
Yeah, family reunion is right, for sure. I went my first one last year, and it definitely felt that way, for sure.
I know Dustin gave out like a lot of hugs last year and all that kind of stuff.
Tons of hugs. Yep. Told everybody. I acted like I knew what I was doing and fooled everybody. I'm telling you, more questions of crappie fishing.
I don't know about everybody.
Well, yeah, that's true. a lot of crappie fishing questions though, and it was nothing but several days of talking fishing, and that's about as good as it gets.
I mean, that's the key thing for everybody. Not only do we want to learn stuff, we still like to talk about our experiences. The 3-pounder that I caught, down at Ross Barnett or Grenada or Lake Fork, show each pictures and
tell lies. Yeah, lots of lies.
Well, what's your actual address and where are you located at?
We're actually in Crothersville, Missouri, and the address is 1503 Truman Boulevard in Crothersville, Missouri. 63830 is the zip code. Just type it in and hit the GPS, and
there you go. Takes you to the Disney World of crappie fishing.
That's it.
Well, kind of give us a rundown on when it starts or what's going on the rest of the week up there.
So basically, it's going to start Thursday morning at 7 a.m. We have a lot of the pros and a lot of guides and stuff. They're already going to be in, and a few of the manufacturers will be there. We really don't start doing seminars till a little bit later in the day on Thursday. But we have the Grizzly Bucks, and I know B&M's going to have the B&M Bucks, and there'll be a lot of other discounts with Garmin and all that. But pretty much through Thursday, it'll just mainly be sales. We'll have a few seminars going on. We'll have not only the pros doing seminars, but we will have one Garmin and one Humminbird, tech seminar on Thursday. And then when you get to Thursday evening, late afternoon, we've got an event called Fisherman's Night Out. And basically it's sponsored by B&M, where we have the customers and all the pros. I think Ronnie Capps and Steve Coleman and John Godwin. There'll be tons of pros there just to sit down, have some refreshments, eat a little bit of barbecue, and hang out and just talk about fishing.
We'd love to see you guys at home that's watching tonight as well. If you've never been and you're planning on going this year, we would love to see that you're going to come this year, but also tell us where you're from and say, hey, this is going to be my first trip. And let's see where you're coming from. And also, you guys, if you've been before, how many years have you been to Grizzly Jig Show? That'd be another interesting to see in some comments as well.
I seen somebody said they were coming to their first one this year. So
I love seeing new faces, and I love seeing a lot of the old faces. We've got some people that's been coming for, over 20
Brad would be one of them old faces.
I know I had a birthday this week, but
yeah. I was gonna mention that. Brad had his birthday again. He said, "How old do I look?" I said, "You don't look a day over 70, Brad. Happy birthday, brother."
There you go.
Chris, he's actually said that he's coming to the first Grizzly Jig Show, and I've just posted his up there. So, man, I can't wait to meet you, Chris, if I haven't before anywhere else. Make sure you come up and introduce yourself. We'd love you new guys that's coming to the show up there, and I can promise you'll have a great time this weekend, whatever day you'll be there.
Matt England from England Expeditions, he'll be going on his year number 4. He's a guide up in Shelbyville, Illinois, I believe.
Yeah.
And he'll be a fun one to talk some fishing. Go up to Matt and ask him about his 2-pounder he caught here recently. He'll have a good story for you on that.
Well, let's hear about Friday a little bit.
So Friday, it's going to start off basically around the same way. It'll start off at 7 o'clock. The only difference on Friday, it will be a full day of seminars. So, starting around 8, 9 o'clock, we're going to have a seminar every hour until closing. You're going to have people coming in like Whitey Outlaw. You're going to have Charlie Bunning and Mike Baker and TJ Shands, Patrick Stone. I mean, there's a whole list of them. Including Brad Whitehead and Brad Chappell. And, it just, you just keep going. But a lot of people don't realize a lot of these guys are here the whole time just because they're not on the seminar list for that day. I mean, if there's ever a time where you wanted to hem one of these guys up over in a corner and talk about a certain lake or a different area, I mean, you can spend practically most of the day with these guys.
Yeah.
What's the furthest you've seen somebody come in and come to the show? Because I know a lot of guys are like, man, that's a 4-hour trip for me or a 6-hour trip.
Yeah. I just seen one. South Carolina's coming for the first time, I believe.
A bunch from South Carolina, but technically the only one that I can tell you that's come the furthest, and I know we have some like the guys from South Africa that came last year, they were already here. But it's just cool to have those people. But we had a couple from California that flew to Memphis and rented a car, and they spent 2 days at the show, which was just to come to the show, and that's all they did. That was a pretty good run.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then guys, they said, well, I seen you had somebody from New Mexico and North Dakota and South Dakota. A lot of those guys are also coming in, and they plan their last week of duck season. So they can do the Grizzly Jig Show and duck hunt all at the same time. So those states that you see that have been there like every year, and you're like, I can't believe somebody comes from Wyoming or North Dakota. That's the reason why. There's probably about 7 of them. States every year, and they'll spend every morning duck hunting and every afternoon at the Grizzly Jig.
Man, that sounds like a great day to me.
That does. That's a full good day there. Yeah.
I know. For me, it goes back, and you talk about some of these guys that's been going every year, and I see them every time I do a seminar. I think they probably heard everything I've said before. Front and backwards, and I try to change up things and make it a little bit more interesting than the same old stuff. But I know I think I'm on the list for Saturday at 3, if I recall correctly, and it's actually posted too, guys. If you're watching tonight and you're on YouTube and you haven't really seen what's all the way going on, look up Grizzly Jig on Facebook, and it actually shows
The seminar
hourly schedule of who's going to be on stage and somewhat of what they're actually going to talk about. But another thing I noticed that you guys do, and I'm sure you're doing it this year, but at the end of the seminar, you give away some stuff.
Oh yeah. After every seminar, we usually give away about 10 seminar drawing prizes. They're usually gift packs from a lot of the manufacturers donate stuff to give away. And we usually do about 10 each seminar.
Yeah, Brad said he was going to do a mug on one of his seminars, so y'all have to tune in for that. For sure.
Yep.
Dustin, so we're going to put you on the spot real quickly.
Oh, don't do me like that.
I'm going to put you on the spot. You know I will.
No, I know you will.
So what do you think I'm going to ask you right now?
I think you were going to ask me what I'm going to do with my pecan cream mug since I'm not going. That's what I figured you were going to ask me.
Oh, so now we're just now hearing officially you're not coming to the Grizzly Jig.
Yeah, I'm not going to make it to the Grizzly Jig show this year. Just everything going on, it's not going to work for me, but just don't remind me because it's a sad time of year, but I will. I mean, I can always, Lord willing, I'll make it to the next one. But this year has just not worked out. Brad and everybody else had me completely convinced I was going, but the closer we got, it just ain't going to work out.
We're going to still see if we can get enough people to try to convince you tonight.
You ain't helping the situation either.
Yeah, I've got 48 minutes to get enough support from you guys that are watching at home to see if we can get Dustin coming in tonight.
This worked last time.
So I've got, like I said, I got 48 minutes to put enough pressure on you to see if we
I'm terrible at peer pressure. Terrible peer pressure.
I got Aaron. He's coming first time from North Carolina. He's planning on coming this weekend.
Man, people are not playing around.
Shockwave, Abe Crappie Hunter, first time from Greenville, Mississippi. He's one of my homeboys undoubtedly. He's up there in Greenville.
Yeah.
James Christie says, Brad, are you giving away points on the res at the Grizzly Jig show?
Yeah, I'll give you some points. I don't know if they're any good or not, but I can give you some.
Hey, ask him for the money signs. Ask him for the money signs. Or was it gold? Yeah, gold. It was gold. Yeah, mine money.
Now, the gold would probably take some money because those are really good ones. But I might drop a waypoint in there if you ask me during my seminar on Saturday. And I really hadn't announced this on Facebook because I want you guys that are watching tonight to kind of take advantage of this. And I'm going to bring something else to give away to the people that I see while I'm up at Grizzly Jig Show wearing a Crappie Connection hat or a hoodie or something. I'm going to give you guys something special at the show when I see you. No matter what time of day it is, if you're wearing a Crappie Connection hat, shirt, hoodie, whatever, I got something for you guys.
You'll hunt them out.
Give you back a little bit of love from me.
A little bit of merch.
I seen a lot of Crappie Connection merch last year, Brad. You better bring a lot of stuff.
So I'm gonna bring some stuff that's with me this weekend up there for you guys. And I think right now we're at 90 likes. So every show I try to get 200 likes on here. We got 206 people watching on YouTube and also Facebook. So I know you guys, not everybody's done it yet. So if you haven't hit that like button for me or a thumbs up, make sure you do that real quick. We're going to try to get to 200 likes as usual every single week. Another special thing, today's bite is sponsored by Bobby Garland Baits. So special shout out to those guys over there and supporting us every week for doing this show. Couldn't do it without them.
Yeah. But also, Skylar may be there with Bobby Garland Baits if everything goes good too. If you guys meet him, try to talk good about me if you guys see him because he's kind of.
Well, he said he was coming. Yeah, I didn't him either, but he's coming.
Yep. That'd be a good person for you guys to meet. His name is Skylar. He's for the Bobby Garland crew as well. He kind of takes care of me and Brad and keeps everything somewhat organized in that place. So he'd be a great one to see there.
I got Adam. He's coming from. He's bringing 2 or 3 old rednecks from Nashville. He said our first trip as well. So Adam,
rednecks from Nashville.
we like rednecks from Nashville coming on there.
That's right.
2 new people right now we got on here tonight.
Matt England said, "Will you have any Crappie Connection hoodies with you there?" I bet you he will. Maybe even some mugs. Are you going to bring some extra mugs too? Because you can't give mine away.
Yours is going. If you don't show up, your mug is history, Dustin.
Dang, John Mayo said he would take it for me.
He's going to give away first thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's the
will.
first
I
way
guarantee
you
it.
want to go
He'll
on.
look left and right, and if I'm not there, someone's getting the mug.
We got to have a little bit of fun. So I still hadn't seen nobody who wants Dustin to come to the Grizzly
Oh,
Jig show.
no. They're on me, Brad. There's been plenty. Don't
Yeah,
worry
they've
about
not
it.
got there yet.
We're good. Someone tried donating $1. Kit Driscoll said, "Bring him a Crappie Connection gray or black extra large hoodie, Brad."
I'm gonna bring that
he's
stuff
wanting-
to you guys.
CJP, I understand, Dustin. I wanted to come and got a ready-made family this year, blew it up. I wanted to come, but got a ready-made family this year and blew up my plans. I'm going to turn into crappie fanatic when, just forgot or just lost the last sentence. But his family got his plans, it sounded like. But hey, you know what? Being with your family's good. It could always be worse, buddy. Hey, there's another donated $1.
You got $2.
That's what I'm talking about.
Mr. Charles Henderson, there is no charge to get in the door. It is completely free. And like I said, you might get some free stuff out of the deal even if you come. But I will go ahead and tell you too, ask for forgiveness before you go, because you're probably going to spend a good bit of money on different stuff.
My favorite saying is Scott Bradshaw. He said, "It doesn't cost anything to get in, but it costs you a lot to get out."
That's exactly right.
That's how it works for sure.
Yep.
Hey, I thought I had everything till I went in that place for the first time, and I left with a couple sacks full of stuff. So
I do every year, and that's
it's terrible. I'll tell you what. I hope we're stocked real good on there though is the pecan cream Bobby Garland bait, because I remember we ran smooth out of them last year.
You'll never know. You'll never know.
Yes, I will. I've got some scouts out there.
You'll never know. You'll never know. Reggie Hillman said he's not going unless Dustin goes.
Oh man, hit me with that. Why don't you? That hurts.
Yeah.
Tell us what's
Saturday. What's going on Saturday now?
Well, actually, Saturday morning, Rathers is putting on Breakfast with Wally. So we're going to have free breakfast.
It is free breakfast with Wally is what you said?
It biscuits and gravy. And we always have complimentary donuts and coffee every morning.
Yep. That's awesome.
And then we'll run the same as we did Friday.
You guys are killing me to death. We need a GoFundMe, Dustin dollars.
Dollars.
Yeah, Kent said he's going to send $1 too. Boy, this might be a money making deal for me.
I mean, we're going to get you there, Dustin. I mean, whatever it takes at this point. I didn't put any pressure on you when you told me the other day. And you had to know better that I was saving it all.
Oh, yeah. When you read my text and didn't reply, I was like, he's either really upset or he's going to hit me hard on the live. Here it comes. But Marty Souther, he said, y'all leave me alone, but he's got my back. But listen, Marty's got my back because he just got all the goodies from Bobby Garland. I gave him some packs of the bait. So he's my buddy now, by golly.
The snack man, he said, you will not get any snacks from the snack man as well.
Oh man, no. That snack man, that was amazing stuff he gave us last year.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, he wore us out. It's like crack.
Oh yeah, it is.
It is. I got JR. He says, there goes your free steak dinner, Dustin.
Man, see, that was the one thing that really got me going was the steak dinner.
Well, I was planning to feed you every night.
Man, come on, cut it out. This is making it worse and worse. Brad, you're cold. We got to talk after this. We're gonna real come to Jesus meeting. Matt England asked you, Wade, when do you want to come to Illinois? Matt England said.
Whew. I was up there the other day and almost got froze in, so I don't like it very often. I barely made it back home.
Charlie Dudley.
last week was
Busting
pretty
everyone.
brutal. Well, Wade, definitely looking forward to seeing you later this week. Appreciate you jumping on here. We got 182 likes because of Wade coming on the show tonight. So we got him actually a little early because of Wade. And also, we will be recording a lot of podcasts up there. And Wade has got the perfect spot for us every year set up. So definitely appreciate that and the support you give us on the Crappie Connection side of things. And, allowing us to come up there and run around and me tackle different people and get them to do interviews and the seminars, but also, like I said, a big thank you for the crappie fishing world for doing what you guys do, and definitely appreciate
it. It's all together. I remember the first time you said you were going to do it, you had to spend the first few podcasts in the work.
Yeah, it was cold then.
It was cold then.
You were cold then. I do recall. And Charlie Bunning sold about 500 rods that day, I think, too.
His feet, they never stop.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll see you guys up there this coming Fridays when we're going to come in. And like I said, Wade, definitely appreciate you jumping on here tonight. And we're going to continue talking about the crappie fishing stuff here. But if you haven't checked out Grizzly Jig, grizzlyjig.com, also Grizzly Jig on Facebook. And let me tell you, it's the crappie fishing superstore of this country. And can't wait to go up there and see everybody this week.
All right.
Don't work too hard out there either way.
I'll try to. I got to go finish stuff right now.
I bet. Take her easy, buddy.
Y'all enjoy.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Guys, keep these crappie fishing questions coming and these fish reports. We'll continue with today's bike show as always and keep it rolling out. And I got some good stuff. I got some fish reports already. Brandon Thomas, he sent me a picture today. He's got the new Crappie Connection hoodie, and he was ready to put it to use. He caught a crappie before I even caught a crappie wearing the new Crappie Connection hoodie.
Oh, man, that'll get you a little salty. But that's not saying much with him. He kind of catches crappie every morning. So if you ain't on it, Johnny on the spot, you're going to miss out with him. He said Fort Gibson is on fire, so it's good to hear that there's two lakes doing really good. Fort Gibson and Hudson is some great fishing right now. And then I seen Carl Dearman, I believe, asked me how Grand Lake was doing. Carl, it's been a minute since I've been there. The last two places that I've been putting in was kind of frozen up. And honestly, I just haven't wanted to mess with it. I ain't been that mad at them yet. So I'm letting them just float around in there and then just enjoy their time because their day's coming. So I'm trying to save them all up. But it's getting – this warm streak this week has got me pumped up, and I'm ready to get back after them. I'll probably put the boat in sometime this week, go check things out, see what's going on. I would expect them. Do what?
You might as well, since you're not going to be up there with us.
Wow, there it was. But anyways, yeah, they should be roaming somewhere near the channel, in the middle of the cove. So I mean, it should be on fire. So, Carl, if you got docks anywhere from 25 to 40 foot of water, I'd be dropping about 15, 20 foot deep and checking things out. Even down there near the bottom, 25 to 35 hold some fish too. So, and they're fattening up, full of shad. This is a good time of year to catch them big uns.
Send us more today's bite fishing reports tonight as well. And I've got some questions that I'm about to post up here as well. Tomorrow, actually, I'll be fishing the next 2 days. So I'll be fishing right before I go to Grizzly and then head up to Grizzly. But so I'll have you a fresh today's bite fish report next week when I get back on here. We'll be back next Tuesday night as always. But I see Tony, he's got a question. Keep those coming, guys. Chase trolling crappie, but they wouldn't leave the school. Start at single pulling, and only fish would commit were the small ones sitting still. Any tips on casting to roaming fish to get them to commit?
And that's a good question. I mean, sometimes they just don't commit. I've heard fishing reports here lately this last week. I don't know if you've seen the Lake Fork one where there was, 3 or 4 guides that all went out, and I don't know if they boated a fish. So it seems like it's happening all over our area. Is when it gets super cold like this, the fish can just shut completely down, shut completely off, kind of go into a staging mode, I guess. Just really go super lethargic. And even around here, if we get a freeze like we just did, I'm nervous they're gonna have a little shad kill and just gorge completely
Mhm.
full on the shad to where your bait does not look appetizing to them at all. They're just so full and have no more room to mess with it. And it's just it can be a tough time of year. I remember kind of having a spree of this last year, same time of year as well, to where the finding fish was no problem, but getting to them to react or eat was just dang near impossible. And sometimes that just happens. So I would tell you to go as small as you can and go as slow as you can with the presentation of your bait and see what you could do. But if you just can't figure nothing out with a fish, don't get and perfect example of the bait I'm talking about right there. But don't get too, knocked down from it, because it happens to
Mhm.
all of us, even people that do it for a living. I've been out there and done it, especially this time of year. That's why I'm not super excited to go out there and get them yet, but it's gonna just get better from here. So stay positive.
Stay positive.
Yeah.
And last week we had that Arctic blast, and I'm sure everybody did across the country, from my understanding. So it was snowing on the coast. New Orleans got
Yeah,
snowed, and
that's
so the
crazy.
temperatures dropped dramatically last week, which thankfully they should start climbing back up that water temp in all the lakes. I know tomorrow I think we're going to be close to 70 degrees here, so the water temperature is warming up over the last couple of days. So I anticipate a better bite this week. And as far as those fish goes, there, Tony, I would say, just like Dustin said, downsize the profile and slow it down.
Yeah.
And if you're actually casting to them, you know,
I'll be
sometimes
breaking
I
that long
notice over
rod
the
out.
winter time, like, you've got to pretty much set it in front of their face.
Yeah.
And, once they actually would come up and notice it, they would commit to it and then bite it. But these very lethargic fish with that water temperature like it was, is you got to downsize and slow down even more. So does that mean, going to lighter jig heads? And I think a lot of times that jig head size can be overlooked on lethargic fish, because if they're just pecking at it, you know, go smaller.
Yeah.
That's why they have a 1/64th jig head for these itty bits. And you think, man, a 1/64th, that is so tiny. And it is. I mean, it is a small profile bait.
So
But
easy for them to take in, though.
what, like that,
Yeah.
the biggest advantage of it to me is when crappie are nipping at things, is that they're spitting them out really quick. And you want it so light, if they nip at it, they keep it in their mouth. But the itty bit
Yep.
mayfly with a 1/64th on a very lethargic fish is what I
Yep.
would go to.
For sure.
And
I'll tell you. Go ahead.
how do you get it down? Is adding split shot to it. Your any kind of weight system up above it, whether it be a half ounce, quarter ounce, or whatever. Put it up above it, but downsize that actual jig head size and your bait. And let's see how that turns out for you, Tony.
I'll tell you guys a really, I guess, a little secret that I thought I found out. I just could not hook the big fish is the problem. But when they got super lethargic like that in super cold weather, this was several years ago, but I had a guy that ties hair jigs. I had him tie a jig, like a jig hook with no head at all, like just the hook with the feathers on it. And I had the 12-pound fluoro with the weight, but the line was so stiff that it would keep the jig, and it would fall so slow. You can imagine just the feathers that it would fall. And I got a fish, to the big fish, to bite it every time, but I could not get the hook to hook into their mouth. I don't know if it's just because it wouldn't turn up straight or what, but if someone could figure out how to tie a tiny hair jig to just a hook without the head and anything, and have enough patience, drop your weight to it and let that feather just free fall down to the fish. I'm telling you, it's a
Well, there
dangerous
is
little.
something out there.
Is there?
And yeah, in the same scenario, it was on. We used them spider rigging,
Oh man.
and there's a lot of different names for them. And actually, Grizzly Jig does sell those.
Well,
And
there
we
you
used
go.
them years ago with a Aberdeen hook, and like I said, it's just an Aberdeen hook with a feather tied on there, and we would use them spider rigging.
Oh, you
Okay.
can't get more of a natural fall. I mean, that's the most natural fall you can
Mhm.
get, is just the actual feathers. And it does take a while, but man, when you get a big fish to turn up on that, because I can tell you, or I can take you to the most finickiest fish, and they're 2-pounders, big ones. but you just can't get them to bite anything. And then I finally tied that little bitty hair on a hook, and man, I could get them to eat it. It just hooking them was just so frustrating and hard to do. But if someone could figure that part out, that's what I'm talking about right there. So I don't know why Brad hasn't told me that till now, but
Never have.
yeah. But that's a dangerous setup there. That's my little tidbit for the day there on the Tuesday nighter. You find a hair jigged hook with no weight whatsoever that will turn up and hook the fish when they bite, and please send me a pack.
John Boat, he's asking, have you all ever fished Santee Cooper, home of the Outlaws? I have not. It's always been on my bucket list to go out there, John Boat. Definitely, if the Outlaws are out there, I probably need to go out there and join them a day or two. But
Yeah, for sure. We'd fit right in. Trust me, we'd fit right in. Brad, now that the itty bits are out, you could hook just a normal hook through those with no weight and do the same thing. I'm brainstorming. That would almost fall just as slow, I'm sure. Maybe slower with the buoyancy. So now my brain's really rolling with the tiny baits again. It's that time of year. I get really crazy small and just have the best luck with it. Even in the muddiest of water, guys, you think it would be hard for the fish to see it, but you can take, the tiniest bait, and those fish can see it no problem if you put it right in front of their face. And it's so easy for them to suck in. So,
Eric, and I know John Mayo and some of the Tim and some other guys from North Mississippi, maybe you can chime on here. Anybody know the water temperature at Sardis Lake? It'd be interesting. I can give you water temperature tomorrow where I'm going. I'm going to Eagle Lake tomorrow. But tonight, I don't know. I would.
Oh, you're going to Eagle Lake the next couple of days, huh?
Yeah.
Have you got any fishing reports from that side yet? No.
Not.
We'll have one next Tuesday.
I think he kind of put a brakes on a lot of people fishing last week.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. John Mayo's got a fishing report, though. I knew he would. Most of Sardis was iced over Saturday morning. Fished 8 to 10 foot of water. Water temp was 33. Holy smokes. Only saw 2 fish shallower than 3 foot deep. Just the opposite of what I thought I would see. Fish were deeper in the water column and a little more sluggish. But the bite around 9 o'clock turned on and had an absolute fun day. Big fish was 282 for the day. Unreal. 38-degree water temp and still catching almost 3-pound fish is incredible. Only in Mississippi, folks.
Well, I think at this time of year, we're the end of January going into February, and I think of giant crappie, and I think of February.
Yep, agreed here. Same thing.
And the biggest fish that I ever can recall will be from the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Through February to the first 2 weeks here in Mississippi.
I was going to say,
is the next 6 weeks is giant crappie time frame, trophy fish, and I'm going to be doing some trips. Just really looking for trophy fish over the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's coming. Chris Williams, he's asking, do I still like my talons on my boat? Chris, I absolutely love my talons for a couple reasons. Number one, if I'm fishing brush, and a lot of time that's in, the middle part of April here all the way through July, I like fishing brush piles in that, 13 foot of water and less, and that's really where I like my talons is 13 foot of water less, and I've got 15-foot talons. Lewis, does color matter during the winter? Lewis, I believe color matters every day of the year.
Yep. Agreed.
Is it probably the most important thing? Probably not. But can it be a really big key on particular days? Absolutely. It's just, I'm a color guy. I've always been a color guy, and it's way before live sonar ever come about. And my thought was we could have 8 poles, 10 poles, whatever out, and they would only bite one color.
Yeah, and it was always pink, right?
Same profile, never pink. Take that back. But, colors does matter, and it's showed fishermen through the years that it mattered way before live sonar. Does it matter as much when you're dropping the bait inside their mouth? Practically, probably not. But to get a fish to run down a bait and chase it and attack it, color definitely matters.
I think it would especially matter too, like you just said, when you're pulling as well, long lining,
Mhm.
all that would really make a difference. And when you notice one bait is catching more than the other, that's not just for a coincidence. There's definitely something going on with that when they both are doing the same action.
Dustin Shields, he said they definitely had Lockjaw and Chico this weekend. 16 hours, ... 8 fish.
Woo wee. The only thing worse than that is 7 fish, Justin.
Yeah.
That sounds tough.
Thomas Fowler says 38 degrees. I'm sure he's talking about and 37 degrees. So yeah, it's cold water up there. Look like that. Stephen Sullivan, he said at Talquin they would not bite. They would not bite. I guess if they were schooled. Only singles would bite. Interesting. Very interesting. Steve Reynolds, does anybody ever find fish around the riprap by the dam? Steve, for me, I like the riprap along dams in the early part of the spring. I think that water off those rocks, especially on sunny days, seem to warm up a little bit faster than other areas of the lake. So early spring, I like fishing riprap along the dam where I'm at on Ross Barnett.
Yeah.
And that's typically in March.
There's 3 or 4 lakes around here that riprap around the dam can be lights out from now until spawning time. So that's exactly right. Yeah, riprap along the dam is an overlooked spot, but a really good fishing area. And some lakes, that's all people fish. They're just lined up on the riprap. So it just depends on where
They
you're
line
at.
up here on the riprap on Barnett.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And them guys walk. I don't know if you see it, Brad, but through those boulders, I don't know how everybody ain't broke their knee and sprained their ankles getting there. But by golly, they get there and they tear the fish plumb up. So for the bank fishermen, that's great places too. Riprap of a bridge is same exact thing. The riprap down the big rocks. It's something to do with the current, the way the current's pulling, and everything else through the bridges. But riprap can be some really good areas. Ken Robertson really got me turned on to the riprap when I first got into going on crappieing.
You can tell the time of the year here on Barnett because the only time you see a lot of fishermen along the riprap is during the springtime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's like except for bass fishermen, which whatever.
Yeah.
Us crappie fishermen, you don't see any crappie fishermen down along the riprap until springtime, and then those guys will be there.
For sure. Brandon Threadgill's in the house. Big Gator. What are you up to, Brandon? Are you going to be at Grizzly Jig? I wonder if he said he was going to go or not. Brandon
Dustin needs a ride.
Yeah, swing by and grab me, buddy. I'd say he's probably. I don't know. He might go. He's always busy though, so we'll see. And then, Brandon, are you going to fish any tournaments this year? Am I going to see you in any of them anyway? Eric Berge is what I'm going to say. The last name is. That's a tough one, but do you guys use scents like crappie nibble, slab bites? Thanks. And Eric, yes. It seems like every other show that gets brought up, and it's a good question. A lot of people always wonder, do you or do you not? I always think there's a time and place for, any type of scent, niblets, something to add extra to your bait for sure. So slab bites, whatever someone would use with confidence. But Eric, absolutely. I've seen it work too many times not to use it. I've dropped down on fish, the same exact fish 2 or 3 times with just a bait, put a niblet on it, and drop down and catch a fish. So I've seen it work a lot.
I always have scent in my boat just for those days. That it never hurts to try it in my mind. If you get a finicky bite, definitely add scent is something that you're not going to hurt yourself by trying. And I've seen days that it made all the difference in the world. So definitely keep some in there. Got a report from Clay Brown. He said Brez was good today. Fish is spinning 6 to 12 foot deep in 16 to 20 foot of water. Water temp 42 degrees there. I'm sure last week it had to be in the mid 30s to 37, more like everybody else was saying.
Yeah, that's cold water. Yeah, we still have quite a bit of ice. I drove over the river here not too long ago at Twin Bridges, and there's still a lot of ice on the river. Wanting to freeze.
He said, what is your recommendation to keep fish alive caught deep for a tournament? Fizz them or fin clip them?
Ooh, go ahead.
I would always fin clip them. I never was big on fizzing them. I never took the time to really do it probably the correct way. We would just get the fin clips and clip them down. It seemed to me, and another thing that we would do is put them in coolers, running oxygen to that cooler. But we always try to make sure there was no air left in that cooler. As far as when you close the lid, it was completely full of water. If they turned on their back, they wouldn't, suffocate if you had that cooler completely filled with water.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we would do is clip them and also have a cooler live well set up for tournament fishing, and we would fill it completely up to every time you shut the lid, there wasn't an air gap in it. Go ahead, Stash.
Yeah,
absentee Stash.
Yeah, with the deep water fish, man, I used to always be stuck on like you got to get them straight up and down, put the belly clips on them. But I would belly clip them. I would belly clip them, but I would not fizz them. I feel like sticking a needle through them and to get the air out of them is just not the safest route when you have a tournament and you're relying on that fish to live. I know a lot of people do it and have success with it. It just scares me to death. It's not anything natural about doing that to a fish. So it's just a little scary to me to stab the fish that you're wanting to go in and weigh in. And I've caught really deep fish like that, and they set completely upside down, belly up, and made it all day alive. So I wouldn't be too worried about the deep caught fish. Just keep the water cool, which if they're deep caught like that, it's cold water anyway. And keep new water pumping in if you can, or keep your G juice in there. Just keep it cooled off. But I wouldn't worry too much about the deep caught fish until, knock on wood, one dies doing it. I wouldn't worry too much about the deep caught fish. I've seen, like, even guiding when I'm catching deep ones and not worrying about it all, throw them all in the live well, 30, 40 fish in the live well, all belly up. And I go to clean them long after a day of fishing, and they're all still alive, kicking just fine, like they're brand new. It's almost like the really cold water just has them fish fired up when you go to clean them this time of year. Like they're just a lot more aggressive after you drain the water and everything.
We're at 227 likes right now, guys. See if we can pop it up to 250. That'd be great. 228 actually now. So whoever hit that, thank you. Alan Strickland, he has said he is heading to West Point Lake in Georgia Saturday, and then Sunday to the Coosa River. First time out in 2025. God, I can't wait, man. Alan, good luck. Hopefully you'll give us a today's Black Fish report next Tuesday night. So Alan, we're gonna wait and see if you do that for us. Good luck too, man. Yeah,
Brandon Threadgill has a good point too. He said you really have to know what you're doing to fizz a crappie consistently, and that's true too. I mean, you got to know exactly what you're puncturing, when you puncture it, and all that good stuff, and how much air to let out. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that could go wrong, I feel like, fizzing them in a crunch situation. Cool story. Table Rock, I caught one. I think it was 42 foot deep, Brad, on a Table Rock tournament, and it was the biggest fish of the day that we had for that tournament. It was like a 185 black crappie. Caught it off of a stump way down there and pulled it up, and its stomach was blown out of its mouth. And I mean, we were sick, and Ken will remember this, but we were almost going to head in, but didn't. We left that fish in there untouched, just kept pumping the good G juice to it and water pumping. And I think I just might have lost. Oh, there he was. Okay, there you back. But we didn't lose that fish the whole day. It was upside down with the stomach in its mouth, and it stayed alive. But I did pop its stomach, so I don't know, so it could breathe. But that I later learned not to do that. Just leave it like that. But yeah, it was the last man standing after the tournament weigh-in and everything. It was still alive in the bag. It was crazy. So yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about the deep fish.
JT, he said Flint River, Georgia. Water 37 to 41 degrees. Fish were ornery. He said they were chased, but short strike, itty bit slab hunter biting the tails off. See what you meant about not feeling a 1/32 ounce being bit. How to watch them jump and try to set the hook. Amen. Great report.
Yeah. The fish were being ornery on him. That's what he was meaning.
Yeah.
I think I worked. I can make the big show.
Johnny, he said, if all else fails, he said he put try a minnow. I always carry them. It works a lot of time when nothing else will. But I'm a plastic guy also, and tie my own jigs. That no head works. I tie it works a lot. I guess he was talking about the Aberdeen hook. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
People still telling you to go.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I've been seeing it. Old Roger's trying to call me out too.
Paul Barnett. He says, anybody know when the spawn will start on Toledo Bend? If I had to guess, Paul, I would say early March.
Wow, that early, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm guessing March 17th. You better be there.
You better be the first week in March.
Maybe March 25th, but somewhere
Well,
there.
I would bet those fish probably spawn for a long time down there, like they do here on Barnett.
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
you'd have those big fish move up early, but I would say that spawn would probably start early March and run all the way through April. Jason Jackson, great question. He said, if you only could have one Bobby Garland, what color and which profile?
One color and one profile. That's a tough one.
Jason, man.
Ken said CPR, the deep fish. Yeah, he's talking about when I was talking about blowing air in their mouth last time, remember?
Yep.
But man, that's a tough. First of all, what's your guys' go-to bait? If you had one bait to pick from and one color, what would it be? Help a man out before I go to
right here.
Yeah, before I go to blurting one out, you're gonna have to help me make my decision. So you guys give me some ideas. What you got? One color and one profile to pick. What bait are you gonna pick? You already got it. You already got it. Man, I don't know. I can't believe it's that easy for you. That's just terrible.
It ain't that easy for me. Let's get that right.
That's unreal. How easy.
Jason asked me, so I'm gonna give the man what he asked.
Okay.
Like you're not going to Grizzly. You're not giving nobody else what we're asking you.
Okay. Anyways.
But I'll do it. I'm gonna have to say,
man, there's
slab hunter and the live minnow.
Itty bit,
slab hunter, and the live minnow. I think that bait right there. And you're probably thinking I'm thinking mud dauber, and it's a close second.
Yeah, Kobe Warren his was a live minnow slab slayer, so that's funny. Yeah, monkey milk, straight tail Anthony, baby shad, monkey milk. I was thinking there was going to be a lot of monkey milk in there, but there's one of my two people now are starting to get pretty dang good on the pecan cream. They all taking my pecan cream. That's probably, man, that's so hard. That's so hard. Live minnow is one of my very favorites. If you want to just be completely natural, it's hard to beat natural. But if I didn't use the live minnow, like Brad tried to steal and all that, because he knew probably I was going to say that, I would say the Live Roamer series pecan cream. If I can't get them to bite that, just go home.
But the itty-bit slab hunter has changed my life in the last 3 years. That I'm a really big believer on that little dude.
Changed your life. It's changed your life. I like that. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's dedication to a crappie bait right there. He sleeps with the itty bit series, but no, slab hunter itty bit style is amazing. They just don't have that in pecan cream, but pecan cream live roamer you can cut down to an itty bit size. So I really love the flat body with the split tail. It looks just like a dead shad laying on its side. I've seen a lot of them, especially this time of year. You'll see a lot of those little shad floating on the surface, and they look just like a pecan cream, or I mean a live roamer.
Yeah. Pros, and Jim's asking, pros and cons of power poles versus raptors. I'm not a good one on that one, Jim. I don't have either set of those. I have talons on my boat, and there he is.
And this right here is a live roamer. He said he would like the live roamer.
Yeah.
He ain't been on the live show in a while, so I figured I'd show big old man here.
He's getting huge.
Ain't he?
He's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's like, what in the world? Who is that?
But Jim, hey man, hey Bo, But the same thing, I'm really not the best guy to answer that. I know some other guys tonight watching can comment on which ones and the experiences they had on that. So hopefully we can get some comments there for you, Jim. But I'm using power brakes and talons on the back of my boat to do everything I need.
Yeah, a lot of slab hunters on here, and I can't argue with that. A slab hunter was a game changer as soon as that tail came out. It's just like any fish that was following with commitment issues would
Yeah.
commit with that tail the way it swims. I mean, it would make a fish bite when they wouldn't a lot of the other things. So slab hunter's a big deal.
Jesse's asking, so I know the lateral line, excuse me, detects vibration. Do you reckon it also picks up scent? I don't think the lateral line would. Now, if you look at crappie's mouth right above them, you can see the nostrils, and that definitely would have to be where they would pick up scent, I would think. David, we did hit 14,000 subscribers on YouTube this week, which thank you to every single one of you guys. And he says, come on to 15. So, yeah, I have to agree there with David. Let's see if we can get this thing to 15 on pretty quick this spring. Also, guys, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe, turn your notifications on. Join us every Tuesday night on Today's Bite. We do this weekly show. And like I said, it's a great honor to do it and very blessed to be able to do so. Also, before I forget, all the Bobby Garland baits, if you check out lurenet.com, you get 15% off by using the discount code Crappie Connection 15 because we're trying to get to 15,000. So maybe if we get to 15, I might get talking a little bit more discount. So just trying to get you up there.
Yeah. Linda says that boy's growing like a wild weed. A wild weed would that'd be a good color for a bait. Wild weed. Kind of like a lighter pecan cream. Yeah.
John Freeman, he said, I would like to add another spinning rod for casting. What would be a 7-foot? What is the most sensitive rod from your sponsor and one or two more? John Godwin just come out with a 7-foot rod. I'm getting 7'2", but it's got a very light tip to it, and I've got a couple of those. And definitely, I would check out the John Godwin, and also, Power Crappie has a great selection of spinning rods as well. So any two of those, put them in your hand and give them a shot.
For sure. If you're going to the Grizzly Jig, they'll have about every rod you can imagine. But they have a Power Crappie. Ken has a 7-foot rod called the Dingo, and that's one of my favorite all-purpose slabbing rods right there. So it's definitely worth a feel as well. It has a soft tip and a good stiff backbone at the same time. So it's perfect for what you're looking for as well. And if you buy both, you can't go wrong.
Roger Mayfield. I've read this comment, Roger, and I will definitely post it up for Dustin to hear it as well.
I told you. I
think if I worked for Bobby Garland Baits, I could make the biggest show of the year. Not going to put too much pressure on you there, Dustin.
Yeah, there's not much pressure. You guys haven't really put it on me. You guys haven't put much on me. I appreciate it. Y'all taking it easy on me. Thomas Fowler said he was impressed with Eric Kegel's rod for sensitivity, and I've seen a lot of that as well. And Brad, I literally can't tell you what brand of rod that is, but I know that Eric had one here recently.
Dobbins.
Okay. Dobbins, yeah. Oh, yep.
Dobbins, and it is a very good rod as well. There's so many good rods out there.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot come on here.
Get up there and put your hands on all the different rods up there at Grizzly Jig this weekend. And we would say Dustin would help you out with a selection, but he won't be there.
Man, so far, much more pressure, and I'm going to have to give in.
Yeah, I mean, we'll keep on all week. See, Bo would like to go to the Grizzly Jig.
Bo said he needs diapers.
See? He needs to go.
That's right. No, he's actually getting a full set of teeth on him all at the same time. So the night times have been pretty tough on me and old Mama Bear.
Mm-hmm.
There's old Jerry Hancock. real quick, just because of history, I remember him saying something about the fish floating on their bellies. So, Jerry, when you catch a fish deep, he does a lot of that at Lake Fork. We had a question. When you catch a fish deep, what do you do to keep it alive tournament wise? I almost want to say he didn't do anything to those deep fish and just let them set up. But I'm asking Jerry because I didn't want to say that without him being here to approve. So there you go. What he says is I'd probably do tournament wise for sure.
Yeah, I remember him catching them deep up there a couple of years ago. Crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
I got Jordan. He actually come up with the same color as his favorite, only one pick bait as well. The 80-bit slab hunter in the live minnow color. Great minds think alike, Jordan.
Exactly. Yeah, see, so Jerry just doesn't do anything to him. He doesn't belly weight him, just throws him in the live well, lets it ride because normally they can hang in there. That's kind of what I was saying, but before I got crazy with it, I wanted to make sure. Edwin Smith said, are there any other events like the Grizzly Jig Show? Honestly, I feel like it's its own breed of show for sure.
Yeah.
If there was anything close, I would have said in the good old days when Crappie Expo just started, it was a good big show, but now it's not near what a Grizzly Jig Show is. So I'm not sure if there really is one, Brad. I don't know if you know of something else that would be close to
Well,
that.
you know, you look back of, you know, everybody there's so many different people that come to Grizzly Jig every year, and like we said earlier, it's coming almost like a family reunion. But also, if you're going up there to learn, you know, you get that one-on-one experience with a lot of guys that are just on the floor talking, but also the seminar aspects that are going on every single hour. I think it just offers so much for you guys that I don't know how many years now I've been going. I'm gonna say 10 plus years I've been going, and
You've been 10 years, Brad?
yeah,
Wow.
10 years. So it just seems like yesterday too.
Yeah, I know. I could see that as well. But man, it's just crazy when you say 10 years. That seems like a really long time.
Johnny, he said, "What was your favorite Bobby Garland?" He said he missed it. Johnny, I don't know if you're talking to Dustin or myself, but the itty bit slab hunter and live minnow. If I had only one, now that's not really a fair question to ask the guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Now, how many do you have in your boat though, ready to go when that don't work?
Yeah, I mean, no, I've got too many. If there ever has been such a thing.
Yeah.
Dustin, what was your favorite one? Jig?
Mine was the pecan cream live roamer style. But again, like I said, the slab hunters are very, very that's a tough one, real tough one. Like I said, it ain't fair to make us pick, but that's like picking a family member, Brad. That's like having 3 kids and you got to pick one.
Ooh. Robert Massey, which reel would you recommend as your favorite?
Man, that's a tough one. You probably know a lot more on that, Brad, than I would, because I use so many different reels. It's silly. But if I was talking about money for the bang for your buck, I would go with an Abu Garcia. It's a red and black Abu Garcia. I could tell you that much. It's red and black. You can't miss it.
There's a lot out there, and I would say spinning reel. Probably the one of the better ones I got is a Daiwa Ballistic. Now it's I don't know if my wife's listening to you, but
it's 30, 40 bucks.
yeah, it's about 30,
Yeah.
40 bucks, but it's
Yeah.
a really good one. And
Oh, I know. Hey, we all know that feeling. All of us guys watching that right now know it's about 250 bucks, but it's a nice one.
yeah,
And then she's going to
but
go to your boat and realize you got 5 of them in there.
no, I don't. I wish I did. Daiwa Ballistic would be my absolute favorite.
So when we say spinning reel, are we talking about it like an open face or a bait caster?
I'm gonna say spinning. No,
Like the one you flip the bell or you push the button?
flip the bell.
Okay, yeah.
John, he said paired with a Fluger President.
Oh, Fluger Presidents are nice as well.
That's
very
a very
nice.
good choice as well.
Yep, I've used Fluger President. I've actually got a few of those just for as many as I go through. Money wise, it's not. They're nicer higher end rods or reels, and I go through too many of them to keep buying. But if I was fishing just for myself, I would be using a Presidential as well.
Steven, you guys coming up to Grizzly? I'm sure it's been posted, but if you and Jamie are coming to Grizzly, bring your stuff to Fizz the Fish, and we will do a quick video on how you guys do it.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be
minus
cool.
the crappie, of course. And well, I might bring one that's frozen. Who knows?
Hey, I was going to say, there's always that fellow that brings a cooler of crappie to look at.
Yeah,
I seen him.
yeah.
I seen him last year. He said he does it every year. So there you go. Go snatch one out of that cooler. I think that's all Grizzly Jig's missing is a tank of live crappie. They need they need a tank of live crappie, and then we're set over there.
Dean, he said he's going. He said it will be a crappie show on the St. Johns River in the morning. Man, I'd like to be on the St. Johns River in the morning.
Oh man, they're catching big ones out there too right now. Big old beautiful black crappie.
Stephen Sullivan, Fluger president.
Yeah. Keith Millsap said the old bait caster with the flipping button. Bait casters are my go-to for long line and for long poling, just straight down on them. I love a bait caster for that, so it's hard to beat.
Mm-hmm. Oh my! All right, John Mayo said, "What will it take, Dustin? We need to know tonight. What will it take for you to come to the Grizzly Jig Show? We need to know."
You know what?
We got 216 people watching. They're waiting on your response.
I'm gonna have to think about that. I'll let you know next Tuesday.
No. You're on the spot. You got.
Brad, you're being tough on me, brother.
You knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. And I don't know. I'm very, very, very strong-willed and hard-headed. Once I get my mind made up, it's hard to change.
All right, let's get Taylor out here. We're gonna get Dustin's wife and ask her for permission.
Oh, she'll tell you I'm good to go. That's what she'll tell you. But when I shut that phone off, it may change. But she'll tell you right now I'm good to go.
Taylor, what is it going to take for Dustin can go to the show? We're all asking you on today's bite to let Dustin go.
Hey, for once in our life, she's not here in the living room. Thank the Lord she isn't here. Thank the Lord himself.
It's been a great show. Hopefully we can talk Dustin in here. So, guys, after the show, all I'm asking you is send Dustin some messages.
Oh, my gosh.
On his page.
You're tough.
I've only got right now about 200 people watching. But you guys, if you're watching it even tomorrow and you're planning on coming up to the show, make sure you message Dustin. And I can give his phone number out as well.
Oh, shoot, Brad. Oh, man, that's tough. And I'll give you guys Brad's number as well.
My number's everywhere, so it's not
okay.
hidden.
All right. Yeah. You know what? That's true. It's all over my page, too, so I can't really cry about it.
So,
yeah, fair enough.
So, guys, if you could take a minute, if you can't message Dustin, shoot him a text message.
Middle of the night. Anytime.
Middle of the night. It don't matter. He's got a kid. He'll be up more likely.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
He'll be up.
I'll be awake.
About 8 o'clock in the morning, he'll probably be asleep. So we're really looking for you guys about 8 o'clock in the morning to text him a lot.
Yeah. Man, ain't you dead on with that. It's almost like you might have done this before, Brad.
Can't fool this old dog, bro.
Oh, man. I appreciate you guys very much for tuning in. Looking forward to seeing y'all at Grizzly Jig next year. And y'all be careful. Safe travels as well. Be careful with that part.
Absolutely, guys. Until next week, Brad Chappell here. I'll see you guys at Grizzly. Remember, show me some Crappie Connection gear if you got it. Wear it. Can't wait to meet all you guys if I haven't met you before. And everybody else, I'll see you soon.
Looking forward to the update next Tuesday.
We'll see you, Dustin.
Man, you lay it on me or